others, it probably looks like I've just spent the morning doing normal human being things, you know, getting up, making my bed, doing my skincare, having some breakfast, doing my hair and makeup. But to me, this is a symbol of where my mental health is at. After coming from a place where for weeks getting out of bed and having something to eat seemed like too much, and a battle every day, doing my morning self-care reminds me of how far I have removed myself from my rock bottom. We're nearing the end of July, and I am not joking when I say it has rained nearly every single day here in Ireland for July. Like, our summer has been atrocious this year, and I have been freezing. Like, it feels like it's the middle of winter. So summer clothes just have not made an appearance this year. But anyways, if you watched my last video, you will know I have been in the trenches going through it, and these trenches have been dark, they've been deep, they have been miserable, but I've been slowly pulling myself out of the trenches. And I just want to say thank you so much to anybody who left suggestions under my last video or shared your own experience. I cannot tell you how helpful it has been. I popped up a little question box on Instagram there yesterday, and pretty much all the questions were asking how I have been, so I thought I would kind of just bring you guys along and share with you where I am currently at. I cannot tell you how determined I am to get through this, and even though PCOS and PMDD are not curable and they're something I'm gonna live with for the rest of my life, but with lifestyle changes and supplements and just day-to-day habits, I can definitely help treat the symptoms. So I am determined to do that with every goddamn fibre in my body. So how I'm currently feeling is okay, but determined. Not good, but determined. And determination is all we fucking need sometimes. So the first thing that I've decided I'm going to do is I'm going to try cycle syncing. I'm not going to dive too much into it because I'm still learning about it myself, but if you're not familiar with it, essentially what cycle syncing is the practice of adapting your health and lifestyle to the 4 stages of your menstrual cycle. It's a way of working out and eating and just living, like socializing, working, all of it in line with your cycle. And there's so much information out there about it now, so if you are interested you can go and read up about it. But I've seen some really positive things about cycle syncing online, and the reason why I feel like it is going to help me is because over the years falling in and out of depression, it's always lined up with either circumstances in my life, like very stressful things in life, like everybody will deal with, but other than that it has been lining up with my cycle. And it's often when I'll fall out of the habit of eating right, exercising, just doing the things that are gonna help me mentally. When you're really depressed, your brain isn't working to the capacity it normally is working at. So if you want to feel more positive emotions like motivation and joy, you need to use your body and schedules / routines, because our brains can forget how to be quote unquote happy, feel positive emotions. But it's much easier to remind our brain by taking action and not thinking. So doing the thing instead of trying to think our way into positive emotions, positive feelings. So in that sense, I feel like by cycle syncing it'll help me have more of a structure to my month, and instead of getting frustrated with my body, it will help me work in line with my body. So yeah, I've kind of just decided that I've spent so many years pumping my body with chemicals, you know, with birth control, with antidepressants, that didn't help me personally. So I want to just go down the route now of trying to help heal my symptoms more naturally. I've been taking CBD for my anxiety. I've been taking this bottle's actually already gone. It's 1,000 milligrams. It's the Grass & Co brand. I've also been taking ashwagandha. So I've been taking this for 3.5 weeks now as well. So ashwagandha is basically to help stress. So it lowers your cortisol levels, but they don't recommend that you take this supplement for good. You're meant to take breaks. So I'm going to take this for 2 months, and then I'm going to take a 2-week to 4-week break and then take it again. They basically say it's important that you take a break if you're taking ashwagandha, because otherwise it can permanently mess with your cortisol levels, and you don't want to do that. But if it's taken the right way, it's safe to take. And I'm not going to lie, I do think this has been helping me. There have been some very stressful situations over the last 3.5 weeks, and I feel like I've handled them much better. But it could also be placebo, because they do say that it takes weeks, you know, for you to feel the effects. But I don't know, I'm really enjoying this ashwagandha. A couple of you guys recommended maca powder and evening primrose oil, and I'm after ordering both of them, and I'm going to give them a shot. To be honest, I did take evening primrose oil years ago and it really helped my PMS symptoms, so I'm really excited to get that again because I don't even know why I stopped taking it. I took that consistently for a couple of years and it definitely showed, and one of you guys said that you noticed your PMS symptoms come back once you stop taking it. I'm literally throwing all my eggs in one basket. Like, they normally say you should do one thing at a time so you can see which is working or what's not working, and now I have been taking both of these for a month, so you know, the other two supplements that I'm going to start taking soon, they're not all going to be started at the same time, but I don't really mind. Like, if things help me, I'm happy to keep up all of these lifestyle changes, you know, it's not a negative thing at all. I ain't got time to wait around, so we're going hell for leather here, girls. So that's where I'm currently at, is trying to make some lifestyle changes. Another thing I want to touch on is therapy. So as you guys know, I did intensive therapy from 2020 until like April, I think, of 2022, and a couple months ago, I found myself another therapist. I spoke about it on Instagram, like going back to therapy, and I never talked about it again because I didn't have a great experience this time. I've had quite a few therapists over the years and I've definitely had more negative experiences than positive experiences, but my positive experience outweigh the negative. But this time around, I was really excited to get back to therapy, and she just kept telling me that I was so self-aware. And this is not the first time this has happened. This has happened to me multiple times, and I'm literally sat there, I'm like, babe, okay, I'm self-aware, but I still need help. I would not be here otherwise. Like, hello, I've not just come to talk to myself for the next hour. I do that on YouTube all the time. No, but honestly, I did just find it very discouraging when I didn't have a great experience again. So I kind of put that on hold at the minute. But I think I'm going to look into seeing if I can find someone again. I feel like when it comes to therapy, I have all of the coping skills there literally are. Like, I did intensive DBT for 1.5 years. And I feel like now what I'm looking for is maybe some trauma therapy, because your girl's got some trauma she needs to dissect. Like, there's just some things that I've never really delved into with a therapist. Like, even when I did DBT, it was very much focused on the here and now, not going backwards. So I think that's going to be my next step regards therapy, because I don't need a therapist to give me coping skills or whatever. I literally have them all. You know, and I think that can be the most frustrating thing as well. Sometimes when you've been struggling and you're depressed, is you know what to do, but sometimes you just physically can't do it, you know. But we're doing the thing, we're moving forwards. And another thing I've done over the last couple of weeks is just book in a bunch of things that I have been putting off. So we're just getting our goddamn shit together. I have my smear test tomorrow, which I'm really nervous about. I'm booked in for a checkup with my dentist next week because I am well overdue a dentist appointment. I've been having pain in one of my teeth on and off, so I just want to get it checked out and make sure I'm all good. I'm also booking my theory test for driving today. I'm just doing it. We're getting our shit done. I feel like that's the best way sometimes, is when you feel very stuck and you feel very stagnant, like we were saying. Not thinking about it, just doing it. Right, I'm starving and I need to bring my little sim, aka me, on a walk because she needs fresh air and she needs to move her little limbs. So something I can be really guilty of when I'm going through it is drowning myself in noise. You know, it's so easy these days to drown ourselves in entertainment, constantly having the TV on, constantly have music playing, constantly be listening to a podcast, be scrolling on TikTok, be scrolling on Instagram. Of course, there's nothing wrong with enjoying these forms of entertainment, but it's all about doing it in moderation. And when you are using it as a means, trying to run away from the thoughts in your head and quiet the noise in your brain, it's all going to come to a bubble eventually when the noise stops. So I've been trying to spend more time doing activities and tasks in silence and learning who am I outside of all the noise and opinions. Why, oh why, do dishes and laundry never end? It's a never-ending cycle. It literally just never ends. I just saw a little black cat. They say that's good luck, don't they? Having a messy space makes my brain feel messy. It stresses me out. Let's tackle this. A big one and a baby. Neither of them will work. Hello? Try me now. Right, so it's the next day and it is smear test day, and as I was saying, I have been really nervous about this. I have been putting off booking it since I got my test back in February. So here in Ireland you only get your smear test from when you turn 25, which when I think about it I think is absolutely ridiculous. You really should be getting a smear test from when you're sexually active. I know it's a lot lower in other countries, but I don't know if you remember. Last year I had a really bad experience having an internal examination done in hospital, so that's where my fear with the smear test has been coming from. But I put up a question box asking for your experiences with getting a smear test, and all the responses were so reassuring. And I have had this booked in now for a couple of weeks, but people saying it's very different from an internal examination. Also people saying that it's over so quickly. It literally only lasts like a minute or something, so just to do deep breaths through it and it's over before you know it. It's so important we don't put off these checks because they could literally save our goddamn life. And even if you're having fear, our brains can often make us feel like it's a lot worse than it is. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I did have a little cry this morning. I have been pretty anxious. I've not been thinking about it the last few days, but now that I'm literally leaving in 30 minutes, I can't help but feel the anxieties. But once it's over, I'll be so happy. And I just wanted to speak about it because I'm sure I'm not the only one who has had nerves or anxiety around this sort of thing. And I feel like when it's your first time getting something done as well, the thought of it is often a lot worse than actually doing it. And once you do it, you're like, oh my god, my brain was making a mountain out of a molehill for absolutely nothing. And that's what our goddamn anxiety does. So try and take back that control as best we can. I wanted to wear a dress today for easy access, but unfortunately it is an absolute washout. It is a really dark, rainy, miserable day, so I just put on a tracksuit for comfort. So this is my little outfit of the day for facing my fears. So it's just this like deep blue matching tracksuit, and it's from Fabletics. But yeah, I felt like comfort was the best option if we can't go with easy access. I'm gonna be so relieved when this is done, because it has been such a fear of mine since February, and I feel like whenever you face a fear of yours, it does give you that little confidence boost. It gives you that trust in yourself that even when things are hard and things are daunting and things are scary, you can still do them and get through them and get out the other side. Taking my CBD drops just before I leave, and then I hold it for 90 seconds. I genuinely feel like this is really helping my anxiety. I used to take CBD drops years ago, and again, I don't know why I stopped taking it. I feel like I thought it wasn't helping, but you only realise how much something is helping once you stop taking it. Okay, I'm back home and my smear test is done. I faced my goddamn fear. I'm so annoyed at myself that I put it off for so long. The thought of it was so much worse than actually getting it done. I feel like I put myself through 6 months of worry and nerves for absolutely nothing. I was literally in and out in 10 minutes, and most of that time was spent her talking, explaining the procedure. I'd say I was only up on the bed having my smear for all of 2 minutes, and the actual smear bit only maybe last 40-50 seconds. It was so straightforward. It was not painful whatsoever. I'd say it was just a little bit of pressure more so. Even when she put in the little brush to take the swab, I could feel like a little tickle, but again, it was not painful, just a little bit of pressure. So manageable. I just lay there doing my deep breathing. She was like talking to me throughout it, asking me questions, and yeah, it went so quickly. The more you relax, the easier it is. So I tried to not tense up, and I didn't cry. I was convinced I was going to cry and get myself into a right little pickle, but she really calmed my nerves before getting it done by just explaining everything. And I feel like if you're nervous, just let your doctor, let your nurse know that, and they can help ease your nerves, you know. They do this all the time. All of us women have to have these smears done, and it literally can save our lives. So if you were like me and you had the letter sitting in your room for months and you wouldn't ring up and make the call, this is your sign to do it. I cannot tell you how terrified I was. So if I can do it, you most definitely can do it. And the thought of it is so much worse. Like the next time I get one in probably 3 years, I think it's every 3 years you have to get them done, I will not go through any of this. I'll just book it, and I know I'll be much more relaxed. But yeah, I'll get my results now in 3 weeks, so touch wood, fingers crossed that everything is all good and yeah, positive. I am having a little bit of cramping now, but nothing major, just a little bit of cramping, and apparently it passes quite soon. So I just took a couple of painkillers, so I am gonna just have a nice little chill evening. I'm so proud of myself for getting that done. It probably seems like not a big deal to other people, but you're at your most vulnerable state in these examinations, and when you've had a bad experience, it just makes your mind run absolutely wild. But again, this just shows how a lot of the time when you sit and you think and you think and you think on something, it does nothing but send yourself into a spiral. Whereas if you just do the thing, like we were talking about earlier, book the appointment, just go, get it out of the way, then it's done, and you can take that worry and stress off yourself. And it's also a good reminder of how our brains often make things seem so much worse than they actually are. I've just been sitting here watching YouTube, munching on some Walker's baked crisps because I thought I deserved a little tasty treat. I'm not gonna lie though, I am absolutely exhausted now, and it's solely because I worked myself up so much this morning. I kind of wish my appointment wasn't in the evening and I had it in the morning, because all day it was just sitting weighing over on me, and you know when you get yourself really worked up, it just exhausts you. So okay, I think I'm gonna go have a shower, snuggle up and watch
a comfort show. I'm thinking maybe Parent Trap. Parent Trap is such a comfort show for me. I cannot tell you how many times I've seen that movie, and I'm not somebody who rewatches things. There's very few things that I will rewatch, and The Parent Trap, oh my god, it just makes me feel like home. I'm gonna wrap the video up here, but thank you guys so much for watching. I love you all so very much, and I cannot wait to see you all in my next video.